the 40 in solid field position for the BC Lions and that man, Dane Evans.
Yeah, Dane Evans making his second start of the season in his new colors, black and orange, with the Leos. Solid performance for him against Edmonton last week. And let's bear in mind, Dane's best game of 2022 came against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
5 touchdowns back in September, almost a year ago. Gets another crack at him today with the BC Lions. Bombers show some pressure here early. They'll hand it off to Mizell, over 100 yards last week. Big part of this BC offense.
And we take a look at this group. Michael Couture, the former Blue Bomber, reached game number 100 last week. Number 101 here against his former team. And the BC attack, very happy to welcome back Dominique Grimes, one of their big play guys, another weapon for Dane Evans in that lineup.
No Rhymes and no Hatcher back in the Week 3 victory. They got them both out there tonight. Evans pressured, hit as he throws, almost intercepted. Holm had it in his hands and couldn't hang on as Evans looked downfield for Dominique Grimes.
Yeah, we'll take a look. I thought at the tail end of this when it looked like Grimes might have lost his footing as he tried to come back to the ball. But great job by Evan Holm, a guy whose terrific footwork in that defensive secondary has been noted by the Bombers coaching staff. You see how quickly he's able to jump in front of that one.
6 knockdowns on the season coming into this game. No interceptions for Holm. He almost had his first one there. McCray bobbles it just inside the 20, stays on his feet, and pushes it back to around the 25. There's a flag right at midfield as part of this return. Early in the game here, Zach Collaros about to get the ball for the first time.
While the ball is in flight, holding, Winnipeg, number 47. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
And Zach Collaros preparing to go to work, sacked 7 times the last time he faced this BC defense. It seems that the Bombers have responded since then. Physicality, something they've always strived for, but a battle that they definitely lost in the last meeting between these two teams. They seem to have answered the bell since.
Talking to people around IG Field before the game, everybody's expecting a very physical. I know football in general is very physical, but maybe even more so here tonight.
As much as everybody says it's just another game, it's not a make or break game, divisional game, it's just about the season series, blah, blah, blah.
It's a big game.
And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers got slapped in the face the last time these two teams met. And you got to believe they're looking to answer the bell.
They'll hand it off to Brady Oliveira. Gets up to about the 15, and he has been excellent for this Winnipeg offense.
And that's the way the Bombers want to start this game. Stanley Bryant on that offensive line, 4-time most outstanding lineman in this league. You know, he's the guy leading this group and sending the message about what they need to do. Kenny Lawler, second game back for him in this deep Winnipeg receiving corps.
A very late flag being thrown here. Both teams were lined up and ready to go.
Procedure, no end, Winnipeg. It's a 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
All right, so we will dial it back and do it again here in the early going. Both of these teams relatively disciplined when it comes to the penalties so far this season.
Yeah, whether missed assignment or missed communication there for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, put themselves in a tough situation after what had been a positive play to kick things off for them offensively.
So 1st and 15 now with this ball on their own 5-yard line. Flags here again. Collaros down the field, far side, has a man and it's caught. Drops it in there for Kenny Lawler, and a big one for the Bombers early.
Beautifully placed ball there.
Offside, BC, that penalty is declined, first down.
For Zach Collaros, you saw a little jump in the interior of that defensive line. Collaros goes over the top, dropping it in perfectly. to Kenny Lawler.
Lawler 93 yards in his return to the lineup. I guess a couple of weeks ago now, prior to the bye. Didn't look like he missed a beat. Big one there. Up to the Winnipeg 39. Collaros over the middle, down the field for Schoen. Got it! He'll take it down to the 20, stays on his feet, and he's gone! Early bird special from the Bombers! Collaros to Schoen, and they go on top.
Well, take the deep shot, hit the deep shot, and maybe get BC out of their aggressive ways up front, but you'll notice an extra offensive lineman in as a tight end, widening the edge, giving you an extra pass protector. One of the adjustments to BC Lions, or the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, make offensively in this ball game. They get that max protection. That allows them time for the deep route to develop. Collaros to Schoen, I think you've heard that one before.
Yeah, a lot last year, not as much this year. A 3-play, 100-yard drive, 71-yard strike to Schoen, who had not been connecting with Collaros this season regularly on the deep ball. That one, their biggest of the year. Castillo out for one more. And a flag flies as he kicks it through for the Bombers. What a start. A BC defense that hadn't given up a touchdown in 44 possessions gives one up here on the very first drive of the game for Winnipeg. The officials continue to discuss this flag. Interested to see how BC responds here, getting punched in the mouth early. Zach Collaros with 105 yards passing on 2 plays, not even 3 minutes into this ball game.
I could not see that.
Yep. Illegal formation against BC. A penalty is declined.
Penalty declined. Winnipeg on top. And how about this to start a football game when you're looking for some redemption against the Lions? That'll do it.
On the man of the moment, Dalton Schoen lines up as the number 2 receiver into the boundary. And out of the slot, he's just going to go. Little jab to the outside, gets the release to the inside, and gets on top on the halfback, TJ Lee. Zach Collaros spots it early, puts the ball up, and Dalton Schoen just goes and gets it. Shades of 2022 for that duo.
Rookie of the year last season. Just a monstrous campaign. TJ Lee tried to trip him up at about the 10-yard line. Did not work, and now we get to see how the BC Lions handle some rare adversity. Williams from the 11. Little hesitation, spins his way up to about the 35-yard line. Let's take another look. Another angle of this Schoen strike.
Yeah, here you get a good look at the line of scrimmage. Collaros with a clean pocket from which to work. Time to set up and puts that one right on the money.
A lot of the big plays last season with Schoen and Collaros would be when they get Zach out on the run a little bit to his right. Schoen takes off. That time, as you mentioned, stayed in the pocket, hung in there, and found his favorite target deep down the field. First and 10 for the Lions from their own 36. 4-man rush. Evans looking down the field. That will fall incomplete. He was almost hit as he threw that. Bombers defense stepping up here early.
Conversation happening there as we take a look at the Bombers defense, where at tackle Ricky Walker off to a good start. 3 sacks for him from the interior of that defensive line. And they welcome back a couple guys that have been out with injury to start the season. Tyree Wilson checks back in at the weak side linebacker spot. Highly athletic player coming back from an Achilles injury. And the veteran corner Winston Rose, a former BC Lion, former league interception leader, is back at his field corner spot.
Wilson last played July 4th of 2022. Lucky Whitehead's got it, and he has a first down wrapped up by Cranby, but not before he picks up about 11.
Lucky Whitehead one of a couple former Bombers in this BC Lions lineup. Let's get a look at him connecting with Dane Evans. Just a quick hitter.
First completion of the night for Evans. First catch for Whitehead. He had 6 against Edmonton last week. First and 10 from the 47. Evans dumped it into the feet of Mizell, as he was once again facing a little bit of heat from that Bombers front.
Yeah, and you anticipate, obviously, on a screenplay that defensive line is going to get blocked, and then released. I think they got released a little early for Dane Evans' liking on that one. It impacts his throw to the running back.
Evans, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns last week in his first start. Second time he saw action with his first start since Vernon Adams went down. This is start number 2. Gets it away quickly to Whitehead again, and he gets popped at midfield, likely be about a yard shy of another first down.
Yeah, just shy, but given the field position and within a yard, get the expected short yardage teams coming in on both sides.
Veteran quarterback in this situation, and Dom Davis. This place will erupt early if the Bombers defense can find a stop. Davis big, 3rd and short early. Bombers waving that they stopped him, but this will be close to Wayne.
Yeah, it looked like Davis had a little bit of a crease as he slid to his right there. Then he disappeared into the pile. Tough from our vantage point to tell just how far he was able to progress.
And they turn it over on downs. Measurement not even needed. Told you they'd go nuts. Davis needed just 1. Couldn't get there. Earn their paycheck right here as Winnipeg takes over just shy of midfield. Turnover on downs as Davis got denied. And juicy field position for Collaros. Lions bring some heat. Collaros down the field again! And he's got it again! Touchdown Winnipeg! Are you kidding me? All the way down the field into the arms of Lawler. Wow!
Oh, to quote our good friend Milton Stegall, oh my goodness. Once again, max protection, extra O-line in there, gives them a clean pocket, time to push the ball deep, and you know they've got the receivers to go and get it. This time it's Kenny Lawler for the major.
Boys, I want to do.
Zach Collaros, 162 yards and 2 touchdowns on 3 completions. Castillo hammers it through in a stunning turn of events as the Bombers go up by 14, not even midway through the first quarter.
Well, this time it's Kenny Lawler. Lines up as the number 2 receiver, middleman in that trips formation to Zach Collaros' right side. Again, load up with an extra offensive lineman, maximum protection for the Bomber quarterback. And Lawler's just going.
First touchdown of the season for Lawler. Had a step, and Zach dropped it right in there for him.
And everyone's talked about this as a heavyweight tilt. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers have come out throwing haymakers.
Lions on the ropes in the first round. The BC defense had only allowed 5 TD drives this season. Only 2 of them had been for more than 55 yards. Both of the Bombers' touchdown drives tonight were more than 55 yards. Rather remarkable stuff. A little shorter kick. Williams slides underneath it, sidesteps the first tackler, and takes it just shy of the 40. Now, if you're Dane Evans, how do you approach? You don't want to push too much down the field early on because there's so much time left in the game, but probably feel some pressure to do something here.
Well, I think sometimes coaches and players may feel a little bit of that pressure, but the thing to me that quiets down the Winnipeg crowd and takes away their momentum is actually a long drive.
Yeah.
As opposed to necessarily one big play. Get their offense on the sideline for a little while.
BC works from their own 38, down by 14. Stretching it out there for Mydell, and he's got some room. A first down, and taken down just outside the 50. Best play offensively for the Lions so far this evening.
Yeah, and I like the call in this situation. Run the football, grind it out a little bit, slow this ball game down. Don't get into, as we use that boxing analogy, we don't want to stand there and trade haymakers right now because that's not in BC's favor at this moment.
From the 52, Whitehead hauls it in at the 55. Short pickup of about 3 yards. Third catch of the game for Lucky Whitehead.
And the unfavorable second and long for Dane Evans and the BC Lions. Then out around midfield where they turned the ball over on downs on their previous possession.
Evans down the field looking for Whitehead just inside the 15. No! Laid out for it, bounced away from him as he went down. Oh, that would have been a big one.
And you'll see as we take another look at this one, this ball fluttered a little bit, and I think this affected Lucky Whitehead's ability to judge the football. He has a little bit of trouble tracking this when you see he kind of slows down a little bit and ends up with that one just off his fingertips as he ends up having to dive for it.
So instead, Flintoff to kick it away from about the 45. And that one over the head of Greg McCray into the end zone and out of bounds. Lucky Whitehead down the field. Dane Evans thought he had it. He did not. Winnipeg's ball when we come back.
Yards of net offense. So their mandate for tonight, as we've said repeatedly tonight, is to be more physical and to be prepared for the speed of BC's front seven, which caught them a little bit off guard last game. And Brady Oliveira says that he feels like the offensive lineman had a fire lit under him after that humbling loss, because in the ensuing games he felt like he's had more time and space to rip off a lot of yards after contact, guys.
It's a well-censored John Liu down there, keeping it PG rated, and an incompletion here to Bailey.
So you're telling me that didn't stand for lots of fun, guys? Take a look at this BC Lions defense. Josh Banks out at defensive tackle. Last year's number 3 overall pick, Nathan Cherry from the University of Saskatchewan, gets the start in his place. Bo Lacombo in at the weak side linebacker spot, 2021 most outstanding Canadian. The veteran on the back end, TJ Lee, is at the boundary half.
Kolaris with some time. Oh, look at this. Down the field again. Flag on the play. Lawler went down to get it. Fireworks from the Bombers. This one, though, back the other way.
Offensive pass interference. BC, number 89. It's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down. Winnipeg 89.
Here you see Kenny Lawler lined up as the wideout this time. Takes the route to the inside where he finds himself working against Marcus Sales. Right at the end, you'll see him fight back to the inside, trying to wrestle Sales out of the way to get back to that football.
Wise man might suggest Winnipeg just throws it deep again. But we'll see what happens on the 2nd and 20. 3 flags already against the Bombers in this game. Lawler is walking off, kind of holding his side. He's being tended to right now on the sideline. Here's Kolaris. Dumps it off to Dembski. He's got some blocks. Dembski up to the 45. And he will be stopped shy of the 20 that they needed. Ended up with about 15.
Winnipeg mixing it up. That time going to the screen as they saw a 3-man rush from the BC Lions on the play. With 9 other defenders sitting deep in coverage, they were well positioned to come up and make a play on Dembski ahead of that first down marker.
Kolaris 4 of 5, 162 and 2 touchdowns. A nice start if you have him in your fantasy lineup this week. Jamison Sheen just outside his own 30. Williams will watch this bounce. And he steps out of bounds at the 20. A flag back on Winnipeg's side of the field, just inside the 50. And we will sort that out when we return. Dane Evans and his BC Lions on the road, trailing by 13 in the first quarter.
But the Bombers looking to turn this thing into a track meet right out of the gate.
Kenny Lawler is in the tent right now getting looked at. And as we mentioned earlier, kind of holding his ribs as he came off after he got called for that offensive pass interference. BC backed up to their own 10 here. They'll give it to Mizell, but he's got nowhere to go. Line of scrimmage and not much more.
Yeah, the Winnipeg defensive line did a good job flattening that one out, forcing Mizell to stop his forward momentum. Willie Jefferson calls for more noise.
Doesn't have to ask for that much more. This place is already rocking early. Second and 9 for Evans. 3 options to his right. Looks that way. Throws that way down the field for Holland. Intercepted by Houston. Oh my goodness. DeMario Houston holds it in. His 6th interception of the season is another big one. And the Bombers defense strikes again.
We talked about the risk of trying to go for the big play simply because the Bombers had hit a couple. BC does it here, tries to force a deep ball. DeMario Houston, as he has done on 5 previous occasions this year, snuffs it out.
The third-year man with his 6th interception of the year. Clearly leads the league. Now Brady Oliveira at midfield, maybe a yard, as Winnipeg continues to carry the momentum of this ball game, and now mixing in their running back a little bit.
We had a good chat with Brady Oliveira this week and talked about his pride in currently being the only Canadian starting at running back in the CFL, with his predecessor here in Winnipeg, Andrew Harris, taking a little bit less of the workload in Toronto this season, carrying that flag proudly, producing for his hometown team.
Averaging just over 5 yards per carry is Oliveira.
Offside, BC, number 56. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
David Menard jumping a bit too soon. So this defense against the West this year, in 5 games in which they're 5-0, they'd only allowed 6 points per game against the West in 5 games this year. And Winnipeg's put up 14 here in the first quarter and have the ball right on the 50.
And Matthew Betts posted 3 of the 7 BC sacks. The last time these two teams met, quiet thus far.
Kolaris backpedaling, now to his left, pressure coming, fumbles, the ball is just laying there. BC trying to get on top of it as a wild first quarter continues. The officials will gather. That ball was sitting right between the legs of a BC defender. Didn't see it.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the tail end of this one. Bolacombo in pursuit. Zach came off the field signaling incompletion as in it had been ruled that his arm was going forward, but you watch his hand. I think he started trying to throw it and then tried to pull it back.
After his hand got hit, he tried to regroup it.
Is an incomplete pass, third down.
I think the Bombers dodged a bullet.
Yeah,
with that call.
Yeah, because it looked like he was going to pass it, got his hand hit, and then tried to regather the ball.
Yeah, tried to pull it back in.
And dropped it. And it'll bring up third down. So BC's defense finally causing some issues. In the end, it was Winnipeg that did recover if it would have been ruled a fumble. So they would have either been punting one way or the other. With this ball on the BC 50, a chance to pin the visitors deep. Side kick there from Sheen. That one will bounce at the 11 off a bomber and out of bounds, and that will bring a flag. Dane Evans 3 and 8 to start this football game, 24 yards and an interception on a deep try to Hollins, who doesn't have a catch yet in this game. Whitehead is the only BC Lion who's caught a football so far this evening.
Obviously a quick start out of the gate in this one for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But we all know the nature of Canadian football. There is so much time left in this ball game and so many ways to score points that this is where, when you're BC, you've got to be careful.
Winnipeg, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Not to press too hard too early.
Yeah.
By no means are a two-score deficit in the first quarter anywhere near insurmountable. Don't treat it as such.
No targets in the direction of Keon Hatcher yet in this ball game. Now they'll toss it out to Mizell. Mizell broke one tackle, but it was wrapped up by Cranby after a short pickup on first down.
Taquan Mizell among the Canadian Football League's rushing leaders here early in his first season. Had a chance to chat with him a little bit this week. Told us how he and Dane Evans have some mutual friends in their football past, so the two of them had met prior to training camp. Evans has been key in helping him get up to speed on the Canadian game.
2nd and 6. Near side, Rhymes goes up, gets it. Looks like that forward progress, he caught it at the 40, will be enough for a BC Lions first down. 19's first catch of the ball game.
And once again, you'll see Rhymes do a nice job pushing upfield, but then working back to the football. Big frame shielding out the defender, going up to get that one for his quarterback. Move the sticks.
5 games so far this season for Rhymes. Almost 300 yards. 5 touchdowns, 1st and 10 from the 40 for Evans. Another completion, just shy of a first down as he gets it right back into the steady hands of Rhymes.
Rhymes had such a terrific breakout season last year for the BC Lions. Seemed like he had instant chemistry with quarterback Nathan Rourke. Quickly emerged as a big playman in that receiving corps.
Final play of the quarter sees Dom Davis into the game. Short yardage on second down. Failed on a third down earlier. Didn't need much here. He was wrapped up rather early, but very close to getting a fresh set of downs for the BC Lions. Winnipeg firing on all cylinders on both sides of the ball in this one. Schoen, Lawler, both finding the end zone. This one early up 14-1, and just an extremely efficient offense so far for Winnipeg.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of laughed during the break about the time of possession, where you quickly learn that number of explosive plays trumps time of possession in terms of impact on a football game.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how Dane Evans in this BC offense tries to get just a sliver of momentum back here early in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I still maintain that for BC, it's not about trying to go big play for big play with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That may be Winnipeg's game plan for this one, and obviously it's worked out well for them. But I think when you're BC, don't press the panic button. Stick to what you had planned coming into this.
Took a deep shot to Lucky Whitehead, and he couldn't haul it in. And another one to Hollins that was intercepted by DeMario Houston as we are underway here in the second quarter. Evans on the run to his right down the field. And that one misses everybody out of bounds. And Evans holding his chest as he bounces back up.
Yeah, he took a heck of a shot there from Adam Bighill just as he released that football. Watch for Bighill coming from second level on the left side of your screen. He's going to race to the outside as Evans rolls, and he's coming downhill. Whether that ball was there or not, he was going to hit the quarterback on that one.
Bighill leads the team in tackles once again. Evans near side has Mizell, his running back, who does haul it in, but they will be a good 3 yards shy of a first down right near midfield.
Yeah, and to no one's surprise, it's Willie Jefferson and his wingspan impacting that play again. He took an inside rush on this one. Watch for Jefferson coming hard to the inside. He gets an arm up in the passing lane. That's going to force Dane Evans to escape to his left. Try to find an open lane. He has to settle for the check down.
Flintoff gets us away, bounces into the hands of McCray. And a couple of guys miss, and then lunges out just past the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at this BC Lions defense coming in to this week. It's been rather remarkable stuff.
Yeah, certainly we talked off the top about that impressive shutout string, 44 consecutive possessions without allowing a touchdown. Pitched a couple of shutouts this season, which is absolutely remarkable. Again, when you talk about the number of different ways to score points in Canadian football, a blank sheet speaks volumes.
Wake-up call for that defense in the first quarter. Now Kolaris gets it out to Schoen, and Schoen forced out of bounds by Gary Peters at the 30-yard line.
Oh, there you see BC defensive coordinator Ryan Phillips, longtime defensive back in this league. Perennial all-star, very impactful guy, something of a ball hawk.
He sure settled in nicely as a defensive coordinator, hasn't he?
Terrific transition, and credit to head coach Rick Campbell, who arrived with an agenda of hiring some younger coaches who are going to develop, who have some upside. Ryan Phillips certainly fits the bill.
Oliveira just power backing it all the way through, and that should be a first down for Winnipeg. Just his second carry of the ball game. He's done a lot of the heavy lifting late in ball games as they've sealed victories away, and starting to get mixed in here tonight.
Yeah, and it's interesting in this one to see the Winnipeg Blue Bombers tact, as everybody was looking for them to be more physical and maybe anticipating a heavy dose of the run game early on.
Now they get creative, dumping it back to blocked up and taken down by Woody Barron.
Well blocked up, and you see Nick Dembski, the former high school running back. He's going to line up. Got Brady Oliveira on the inside on this one, Dembski on the outside. Oliveira leading the way as a puller. He provides the read for Dembski as he pulls the man outside. And look at the size of that hole for the slot to run through.
A lot of weapons in this offense as they had McCray in behind Collaros there. And now they'll send McCray out to the bottom of your screen where he'll work one-on-one against Gary Peters. Collaros, that's where he's going to go. McCray went up for it through his hands and incomplete.
And nice bit of play action, but you get a look at the versatility of some of the pieces at offensive coordinator Buck Pierce's disposal in this Winnipeg offense. As they move around, Nick Dembski ends up lining up as the running back. Greg McCray, who could play running back, ends up as the intended receiver downfield. Moving Oliveira around as well. Just unable to connect there.
2nd and 10 for Winnipeg on their own 48. Out to his right, looking down the field, finds Schoen, and that's another Winnipeg first down. 3rd catch of the game for Schoen.
Well, Zach Collaros and Dalton Schoen starting to find their rhythm. Duo that was so dangerous last season. Already connected for a touchdown here, this time moving the sticks and into BC Lions territory.
Schoen well on his way to a 100-yard game, already at 89. Has just one 100-yard game so far this season. 1st and 10 from the BC 50. Collaros near side, Lawler back in the game. And back connecting with his quarterback, takes it down inside the 40.
Yeah, and you talk about guys refinding their chemistry. With Zach Collaros, Kenny Lawler had a year away after being the league's top receiver in 2021. Took his talents to Northern Alberta in free agency. But happy to be back in blue and gold this season.
Over 100 yards for Lawler. Now they'll get it out to Dembski again. Look at him, broke one tackle, got to the 30, and that is where he is wrapped up by a number of members of the BC Lions defense, including Matthew Betts. You got this 1-2 punch with Lawler and Schoen, and then all of a sudden you can just mix Nick Dembski in wherever you want. Dembski's having another phenomenal year, 2nd on the team in receiving yards coming into the game and catching 88% of the passes thrown his way.
Yeah, I mean, it's frightening to think when you talk about Lawler and Schoen as a 1-2 punch, but then you think about the number of big plays that Dembski has made, that Rashid Bailey has made, that Greg McCray has made.
And Wolodarski has 4 touchdowns.
Exactly.
McCray's an interesting one because we have an ongoing argument in our fantasy league of what position he should be eligible to be started in, right? And that's just another sign of this versatility of the Winnipeg offense. And of course, with Janarian Grant out, handling return duties as well. Those are big shoes to fill. Janarian Grant and the numbers that he puts up in the return game are very impressive. McCray doing his best. Well, Grant's a sideline. Well, if you're the BC defense here, you'd sure like to come away with a field goal attempt for Sergio Castillo, I'm sure. Already trailing by 13 and having a hard time generating anything offensively. Three more yards will get him a first down. Brady Oliveira looking to do it. Back to the line of scrimmage, and he will be stopped by the Lions, and he's a couple of yards short, at least 2 or 3.
You'll see Matthew Betts, number 90, crashing in from his defensive end position. One of a number of BC Lions defenders. Getting after Brady Oliveira on that one.
Castile, just one miss on the season, firing at 93.8% to put his team up by 16. Smooth as they come, knocks it right down the middle. And Winnipeg with a lead. BC Lions. That's what the Lions are trying to get themselves back into in this ball game, trailing 17-1. Evans quickly finds his fullback on a short gain on the far side of the field. Mackey hauls it in.
Yeah, blitzing weak side linebacker. Ball had to get out quickly. David Mackey out in the flat. You're never wrong to get the ball to the fullback from Western, Dustin. It's
Feed the fullback from Western.
A theory I have long lived by.
I start to think you're a little biased.
That may be true. That may be.
3 yards on that completion to Mackey. 2nd and 7 for Evans. Quickly again, right side. Lucky Whitehead has it. Houston was right there trying to strip another one away, but that'll be a BC first down. Evans has wasted no time tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, got to get it out of his hands quickly, and got Lucky Whitehead on the outside on this one. Gonna duck underneath. Knows he's in traffic. You see him get the shoulders low. Knife upfield upon catching that ball.
Dietrich Nichols eventually making the tackle on Whitehead after Lucky picked up his 4th catch of the game. BC on their own 52. Looking for some offense here. Evans with time. Near side. Hatcher wide open at the 40. Down to the 35 and forced out of bounds by Evan Holm. But a sign of life for the BC offense.
Yeah, it's an interesting look for BC because they go double tight ends here. You see Javon Catoy, David Mackey lined up on either end of the line. They're not going to stay to block. They're going to release on this one. I mean, Winnipeg's got BC outnumbered deep in coverage, but Hatcher kind of pushing deep, working back. Manages to free himself of coverage.
First catch of the game for Hatcher goes for 26. Evans over the middle. Jefferson almost picked that off. Oh, Willie almost got himself one there.
Willie Jefferson, you're going to see him lined up out wide on this one. He's going to drop in coverage. Shows rush, bails. Needless to say, caught Dane Evans a little off guard when the guy who's 2nd in the league in sacks is dropping in coverage.
Big 2nd and 10 here for Evans. 3-man pressure goes to Hollins. And Hollins is awfully close to a BC first down.
Hollins, 2nd of the 2 receivers coming out of the stack here. And he's a guy who's flashed a little bit for the BC Lions this year in terms of looking for a bigger role. He has had some moments.
459 yards receiving, leads the team in that category, and catches and targets and yak yards. Davis in 3rd and an inch or 2, not much more, and that'll be it. Job's done by Dom Davis. Boy, this is a big drive here in the 2nd quarter for BC.
Yeah, it certainly is. And again, this is what I alluded to earlier about BC's ability to get the momentum back, that it wasn't necessarily going to come from one big play and going back and forth, but it was going to come from keeping Zach Collaros on the sidelines for a little while.
Evans now 10 of 17 for 95 yards and an INT. Busy night for Lucky Whitehead, who's at the bottom of your screen. That's Rhymes. Evans looking downfield, in trouble. Jefferson has him, and they take him down. Flag on the play as Willie wrapped him up. Looks like a flag against 5 in blue.
Yeah, I think he may have caught the back of that jersey, the horse collar area, as he reeled Dane Evans in.
Unnecessary roughness, horse collar tackle, Winnipeg, number 5. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Crowd at IG Field does not agree.
We'll see Willie Jefferson here on the right side of your screen, just outside that goal post. Getting upfield. There you see, left hand gets the back of the collar of Dane Evans' jersey.
And it's been challenged by Coach O'Shea. He has thrown the challenge flag for just the second time this season.
And the interpretation of this challenge, I think, is going to be interesting. Because it didn't look like there was much doubt about the horse collar part of it.
Well, and that's why a longer discussion here between Justin McInnes.
Winnipeg is challenging the previous ruling on the field for roughing the passer. The play will be reviewed.
Stick around.
Well, Willie Jefferson's the man we're watching from his defensive end position here. Now, he does get held on the play, but the horse collar seems pretty clear.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Winnipeg will be charged a timeout.
O'Shea not getting the overturned call he was hoping for, and now his defense has to go to work. First red zone opportunity for either team here tonight. Goes to BC, trailing by 16. They hand it off to Mizell, and he takes it down just inside the 10. Looked like Jefferson and Nichols were both there to wrap him up. Mizell has obviously stepped in nicely this year for the BC Lions, and there he is just behind Brady Oliveira in the yards per game leaderboard.
Yeah, nice find for the BC Lions, who of course lost James Butler to Hamilton in free agency. Mizell filling the void nicely.
2nd and 9 for Evans. In the pocket towards the end zone for Whitehead. No! Covered by Holm. Whitehead's calling for a flag on the play. Another look at it. Was he not able to get his right arm up to try to make this catch?
Yeah, we'll take a look here. Watch for Whitehead coming left to right on your screen in the secondary. It didn't appear that there was a grab or anything from Holm unless it came earlier in the route.
So Sean White to put 3 on the board. He's hit 15 in a row. Make it 16 for Sean White. Steady as they come. BC cutting. Do you have a big watch list?
I actually do. I have a rapidly growing watch list.
Yeah. My watch list is probably full of shows that other people think are stupid. I'm not gonna lie. I have a unique taste in television. Now they'll get into Dembski, and Dembski takes it just outside the 45. Kolaris 217 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game, and boy, he's been good at home, hasn't he?
He's been unreal at home. You look at the numbers, 21-2 since joining this team late in 2019. Led them down the stretch run. 3 consecutive Grey Cup appearances as well.
Back-to-back MOPs.
Oh, right, those little things.
You just forgot the MOPs. Here is Kolaris down the field, and that is held onto for a first down as he gets it back to 89. Kenny Lawler hauls it in, his 4th catch of the ball game. He is already already over 100 yards as we hit the 3-minute warning at IG Field.
But coming up at half, we are going to be chatting about the 2 big plays to start this game. And then after that, the gentlemen have told me that there's been nothing else to break down. Jim, not a big 3-minute warning guy either.
God, just run the ball once. Just give me one run.
Just once.
How can you not be a big 3-minute warning guy, huh? That just doesn't sit well with you. Almost time for them to go back to work. Kolaris with time gets it away. And it's caught wide open. Wolotarski for a big chunk takes it down inside the 35 as Winnipeg marches on.
Always reliable Drew Wolotarski. Typically lining up in that wide side, wide receiver spot. Here working across the middle. Finds himself wide open. Easy first down pickup for Zach Kolaris and the Bombers.
First catch of the game for Wolotarski. Dembski with 2, Schoen with 3, Lawler with 4. So far here in the opening half. Kolaris, pressure in his face, tosses this one up. Lawler turning around, can't get there, but he's taken down. And Jalen Edwards-Cooper taking a pass interference penalty that he probably didn't have to take.
Pass interference. BC, number 29. Spot of the foul. First down.
Bit of a panic play there for the BC Lions defender. That ball's drifting out of bounds. Falling short.
Lawler had pretty much given up on it when he was taken down. Yeah, that's a backbreaker for Edwards-Cooper.
And another chunk play for the Winnipeg offense.
Brady Oliveira stands in to the right of his quarterback, Zach Kolaris. He'll give it to him. Oliveira right up the gut, and he's home. Touchdown, Winnipeg. Second rushing touchdown of the season for Brady Oliveira, and they blow it wide open late in the second quarter.
Well, they wanted to take care of business at the line of scrimmage. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers doing so right here as Oliveira goes in untouched. The third Bomber major of this first half.
Castillo for a 20-point cushion. Right down the middle, cap off a 5-play, 70-yard drive that took less than 2 minutes.
Terrific job, basic play here by the Bombers offensive line. Watch the center, Chris Kolinkowski. He's going to get his man turned, working towards the right side of your screen. Patrick Neufeld, the right guard, seals off Woods. They create that gash right up the middle. A gap right for Brady Oliveira to go in standing up.
Untouched to the house for Brady Oliveira and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We discussed it. A bit of an axe to grind here with the BC Lions after what happened in week 3. And they have shown the Lions who's boss at IG Field so far tonight.
Running it in for the most recent touchdown, but again, a touchdown set up by a deep shot.
Just under 2 minutes for BC to try to put together some sort of a response. Here's Williams. Good field position will help, and that's what he's got for them. Williams all the way out to workable for Dane Evans and the Lions offense.
Yeah, plenty of time here for the BC Lions to respond to the most recent Winnipeg Blue Bombers score. See Evans' numbers on the day. 10 of 18, 95 yards through the air.
Coming into this game, completing with just over 70% of his passes in essentially 1.5 games, almost 2 full games, I guess. Over 540 yards, 3 touchdowns. Nothing yet here today. Pressure from the Bombers. Evans gets it away quickly to Whitehead, who went down, got it, bounces back up, and is wrapped up immediately there on the far side of the field by Rose. 5th catch of the game for Lucky.
Yeah, good execution in terms of getting the ball out quickly for BC with 7 rushers coming. An equally good job by the Bombers defensively, keeping the ball in front of them. You know it's got to get out quick. It's not going to be a deep route. Just got to be sure tackling on those ones.
2nd and 4 for Evans. Takes off. Now finds Rhymes for a first down inside the 50. Stepped up nicely under pressure in the pocket and completed the pass.
Yeah, nice escape there by Evans, keeping his eyes downfield the entire time before zipping that one in to Dominique Rhymes. You see ends crashing.
Out from the Winnipeg 46. Evans pressure in his face, gets it away, intercepted. Alexander gets in underneath it, takes it back to the 50 and eventually forced out of bounds. But the Winnipeg defense picks off Evans for a 2nd time in the opening half.
I don't think this is a terrible read by Dane Evans, but obviously the throw comes up short, and we talk all the time about how accuracy is impacted by pressure, and here it's going to be Redicremdi coming free off the edge. He's the unblocked man. He forces Evans to get rid of this one in a hurry, also from the left side. Brandon Alexander following Keon Hatcher across. If Evans puts a little more air on that one and leads Hatcher downfield, they get away with that play. So that's why I say I'm not horrified by the read, but just not enough on the throw.
Execution not there for Evans that time. 2 interceptions on 12 of 21 against this Winnipeg defense. Polaris now has a completion for a first down just outside the 40 to Lawler. Macombo says he took it away, but this was already blown down. And you would say Winnipeg get within field goal range, but I feel like Winnipeg wants to pop another one in there and really knock the boots off the Lions here. BC brings pressure near side. Wolotarski has it, turns, and that'll be another Winnipeg first down with tons of time. 44 seconds still on the clock.
Well, the Bombers chipping away. It seems like the key for when they're going to go deep, to me, has actually been when they bring in an extra offensive lineman. A situation where you think it's going to be physical running play, short yardage type stuff, but they've used that formation a little bit differently tonight. They've used it to go max protect when they've wanted to take deep shots in this ball game. 2 touchdowns and the PI call that Lawler drew.
Dumping it off to Wolotarski again, and he's just shy of another first down. As they take it just outside that BC 20. Quick work here from the Bombers offense.
Yeah, very efficient looking drive from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Brady Oliveira right up the middle, pounding his way down inside the 15 for another first down for Winnipeg. Polaris barking out some last-minute instructions. Wolotarski in the slot. And that was Menard, or Woody Barron rather, who came busting through.
Well, Woody Barron either believes someone moved early or he's a hell of an actor.
He is trying to sell it, isn't he?
Offside, BC, number 58. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, it turns out it was he who moved early.
What do you want?
But he was so convincing.
He almost had us. Officials on top of it, though. 1st and 5. Sitting on that BC 8. What will Winnipeg draw up here? Collaros, 269 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. A big one to Schoen, a big one to Lawler. Trying to deliver one more blow to the Lions here before the half is out. In the pocket to the end zone, and that one batted away. Sales in coverage. No flags on the play as he was looking for Rasheed Bailey.
Sales, the former Winnipeg Blue Bomber. Nice job in coverage here. Well-timed play on the football for the halfback.
Another crack at it for Collaros. Good protection to the corner, and that one incomplete. Edwards Cooper working against Lawler. And the third-year Lions corner wins that battle.
On quiet start here for Matthew Betts. He's lined up his usual defensive end spot, but watch, he's going to get a little attention, not just from Jermarcus Hardrick, but a little extra help from the guard, Patrick Neufeld, on that one. And this has been a lot of the story for Betts in this ball game. Is Winnipeg's done a decent job on him when they've been one-on-one, but many times it's been that extra attention, quite often with 2 offensive linemen.
3 sacks in week 3. Not a sniff here tonight. Castillo puts another one through, and Winnipeg on top 27-4. A true stunner here to kick off week 9 in the Canadian Football League. What's the message from Campbell at halftime for a team that's been so good so far this season of getting a dose of their own medicine from week 3?
Yeah, when we talked to Rick Campbell during this week, one of the things he talked about, referring to the previous meeting between these 2 games, was that, you know, the message was that that wasn't a make or break game. That for them, a lot of their messaging is that obviously you want to win, but it's not about wins and losses. It's about process and doing things the right way. It's about playing well and recognizing that if you play well, you're going to get your share of victories. And so, you know, I think for Rick Campbell, as I've said all along, it's not about abandoning the game plan necessarily.
Davis in the game, sends one down the field, almost. Excellent effort from Rhymes, but he just couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, something of a Hail Mary here from Dom Davis, looking to Dom Rhymes down the sideline. But, you know, I mean, just to finish the earlier thought, when the message all year has been about process more than outcome, you know, I don't know that you're necessarily going to see drastic changes to the game plan. It'll just be a case of we need to execute this better.
Davis looks for the deep shot again, and that one also batted down. That time it was Hatcher getting a crack at it, and Rose was there to deny him again. And that will do it for the first half. A statement half from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who are 3-1 at home this season, and as we mentioned, lost in week 3. That one loss here at home, 30-6 at the hands of the BC Lions. Just 2 field goals from Sergio Castillo in that game. Winnipeg had 2 touchdowns before you even sat down at your television tonight, and they have not looked back. Just
Close. He was listed as the number 3 quarterback on their roster. Situation where I suppose in an emergency he could play, but as you heard them discuss a little bit on the panel at halftime, it would take a very extreme situation, I think, for Vernon Adams to see the field there.
Greg McCray takes it all the way outside the 40 before he is wrapped up. Zach Collaros in the first half, let's just say it was a good one.
Zach Collaros came out swinging, or at least slinging, airing the ball out. Hit Dalton Schoen for a long one on their first possession. Came back a possession later. Finds Kenny Lawler over the top. Had another deep ball to Lawler that resulted in a pass interference call, setting up another Winnipeg touchdown. An aggressive offensive effort.
280, 2 touchdowns as well. Brady Oliveira right up the middle, tripped up, or else he would have had a much larger chunk. Just 5 carries in the first half for number 20 in blue.
Yeah, we'll take a look. Right up the middle here. Keep an eye on left tackle Stanley Bryant. Right side of your screen. Working down inside. He's just going to wash down the crashing linebacker past the point of attack, allowing his running back to hit that second level.
TJ Lee taking down Oliveira. Prukop into the game for the first time in a 2nd and 3. He can run with it, but we've seen them have him pass the ball in the pass. This time he fakes the handoff, takes off, and he's got a first down and more. Prukop takes it all the way down inside the 45, and the Bombers pick up where they left off in the first half.
Dakota Prukop, experienced in these situations. They've built a package around his ability to run with that football. And you see why. Nice execution there.
A couple of rushing touchdowns this year for Prukop. Back on the sidelines as Collaros will go back to work. Gets this one away to Lawler. Peters wraps him up and takes him down. Close to a first down. There's a comfort level there with Collaros and Kenny Lawler, isn't there?
These guys separated for a year, but apparently didn't miss a beat. Kenny Lawler, as you mentioned earlier, dusting over 90 yards in his 2023 debut. Over 100 in game number 2 of the season for him. Trending in a frightening direction.
At 1,000 yards in the shortened season. Only got to do it. Prukop back in, first down Winnipeg. Lawler had 9 targets, 7 catches last week. He's already at 136 yards on 6 catches this week. Coming in to this game, BC's been rolling, no doubt about it. They played on Saturday in Edmonton, so 4 days rest. Winnipeg almost 2 full weeks off, 13 days rest, and sure looked like that in the first half. Didn't it?
Yeah, it's not ideal circumstances, but
Collaros fakes that handoff out to his right, looking to the end zone for Dembski. What a pass from Collaros! His 3rd touchdown of the game, into the hands this time of Nick Dembski.
you know, I talked earlier in this ball game about how being under pressure affects a quarterback's accuracy. I think this was Zach Collaros' way of saying, whatever. Guy right in his face, and he drops a perfect dive to Nick Dembski.
Five plays, 68 yards, no time at all, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. And the hill to climb a little bit bigger for the BC Lions. Castile after getting beat down in week 3 here at home. Winnipeg returning the favor in a big way. Dembski hauls it in, 4th of the year. Well, the party is on at IG Field and everybody getting involved here. Look at this. Jamarcus Hardrick comes in, the right tackle, grabs our camera, and goes to work.
When Jamarcus Hardrick says he wants your camera.
There it is. There it is. You give him the camera.
You give him the camera. I mean, he's a big dude.
Need to go down for that lower angle too. Seasoned pro. The return here, good one. Just shy of the 45 as LaFrance gets involved. Hardrick and that offensive line have done an excellent job so far tonight.
Yeah, doing a pretty good job of his day job. Marcus Hardrick. The energy guy on that O-line.
Dane Evans still being assessed by the medical staff. Dom Davis gets the ball for the BC Lions. Start here on their own 45. They'll hand it off. And a short pickup on first down. Dane Evans, if you're just joining us, why is he not in this game? Well, we believe it to be this moment right here. A little run-in with Adam Bighill.
Ball release. You see Evans right away.
He did stay in the game after that, but a hit again, I think. And hanged him up. Brendan Adams, who was not dressed in the first half, decided to quickly get dressed here. Davis over the middle for Hatcher. That one just a tad too far. And Hatcher could not haul it in.
Yeah, watch for Hatcher coming in right to left on your screen, appearing down the middle of the field. Davis trying to lead him just inches too far.
From top, towering kick, bounces over the head of McCray and all the way into the end zone. Winnipeg Blue Bombers leading by 29. Welcome back to Investors Group Field. Tonight is Purolator Tackle Hunger Night here in Winnipeg. Since 2003, Purolator, along with the CFL and its member clubs and Canadians like you, have helped the Tackle Hunger program donate close to 20 million pounds of food to local food banks, and the need is greater now than ever. Go to PurolatorTackleHunger.ca to donate, and here's a look at what's next for Purolator Tackle Hunger. In Vancouver next Saturday, Edmonton, Hamilton, Toronto, Ottawa, and Regina on the schedule. Once again, PurolatorTackleHunger.ca for more information. And that is where you can make a donation if you're watching here tonight.
Such a great cause. So well supported by Canadian Football League fans.
Brady Oliveira trying to push ahead. Short pickup on first down with Winnipeg in full control here. Probably expect to see a lot of Brady Oliveira the rest of the way.
That's it. The Bombers over the years have established themselves as pretty good closers, and it's a combination of the guys up front and the guy in the backfield, whether it's been Andrew Harris or Brady Oliveira.
When it's time to go to work, they get her done.
Get her done.
Not uncommon to see Winnipeg put together 8, 9, 10-minute drives to seal games away. Claris this time, though, down the field for Schoen, and he holds it in at the 35. Some hand fighting there, but Schoen was able to grab it, and that'll put him over 100 yards on the night.
Well, a lot of people with little extra effort to make plays happen. Watch, first of all, the running back, Brady Oliveira, lines up a little wide, but his guy, Ben Hladek, loops inside. You see him dive back in, get just enough of Hladek's leg. to knock him down out of the way of his quarterback, and then tremendous effort to make the catch by Dalton Schoen.
Schoen's at 120, caught all 4 balls thrown his way. Oliveira rumbling his way down, first down and more, all the way inside the red zone.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers just continue to attack right up the gut. Watch the motion here, Rashid Bailey, receiver getting in on the action, helping out in this blocking scheme. As he cuts down his man, a blitzing TJ Lee. Help keep his running back clean through the line of scrimmage.
Out into the flat. Dembski takes it down to about the 15. Pick up a 5 on that first down pass.
The Blue Bombers just chipping away now. After getting the BC Lions defense back on their heels with some big plays early in this ballgame.
BC 6-1 coming into tonight, 5-0 versus the West, including a win right here at IG Field in week 3. The Bombers 5-2, 3-1 at home, looking to change that tonight. Zach Collaros already with his 4th 300-yard passing game of the season to the end zone. Touchdown Winnipeg, and a good old-fashioned blowout is on at IG Field. 4 touchdown passes for Zach Collaros.
Once again, Collaros is given time. He's got a bit of a freebie here with what should be offside against BC.
Offside, BC, number 56. Offside, Winnipeg, number 83. It'll be second down repeated.
Offsetting penalties, and Zach will have a chance to throw another one instead.
Yeah, Lions off the hook there as Dalton Schoen had moved a little early as well. See if the Lions defense can take advantage of this second chance.
A do-over on second down from the BC 15. Oliveira to the left of his quarterback. Collaros moving around. Will he get rid of it? Spins back. Official gets out of the way. And finally, Zach just turns and heaves it out of bounds. 3rd and 5. He tried to extend it, didn't he?
Yeah, we don't necessarily see a ton of this from Zach Collaros, but demonstrating he's still got a few moves to stay alive on this one. There are a couple points in this play where it looked like Dalton Schoen was open, but just not in moments where Zach was able to get his eyes in that direction downfield, and he was too busy trying to evade the rush.
Castillo back to work, 2 for 2 already tonight. This one from 23. And he knocks it home. Winnipeg in full control at home. Return to the lineup, big-time duo. A Grey Cup clinching duo returning to the lineup here.
Yes, very fitting when we think back. The 2021 Grey Cup, a ball deflected there by Winston Rose into the arms of Kyrie Wilson that sealed a Grey Cup win. 2nd in a row for the Bombers.
Completion to Hatcher. Late flag you saw come flying in there. Be enough for a first down if it stands.
Unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg, number 4. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Big Hill shaking his head. Didn't like the call.
And we'll take a look at the tail end of this one. Hatcher lined up out wide here. Catching this one in traffic. Maybe from field level it looked like he came in a little higher, but certainly appeared to be a clean hit from that angle.
Now Big Hill coming after Davis, gets it away. He's got Hatcher again, stays on his feet, spin move down to the 30. And some nice effort there from Keon Hatcher.
This play was all about the spin moves as Big Hill at the line of scrimmage freed himself up on the blitz with a spin move to beat his blocker, and then Hatcher with a couple of nice pirouettes on the run after the catch.
Hatcher 333 yards in 4 games coming into this one. Davis far side of the field, and that one not enough juice on it, and it falls incomplete in front of Hatcher, who tried to go down and scoop it up but could not get there.
Well, it's an interesting situation when you look at the BC Lions quarterback room. Very unique at a time where experienced quarterbacks are at such a premium in the CFL. To think in Dom Davis, your number 3 guy, you've got a guy with a season's worth of starts, 14 starts for his career under his belt. Dane Evans, your number 2 guy with a couple of years worth of starts, including 2 Grey Cups as your number 2 guy. And then, of course, Vernon Adams, your usual number 1, very different than most teams.
Davis in trouble, and he's taken down at the 40. Jeff Coat. And we've got the 2 teams that were 1 and 2 in the league in sacks coming in, and that, if you can believe it, is the first sack of this football game.
And all the experience in the world. Can't escape this Winnipeg defense. Good get off there by Jackson Jeffcoat. Exploding upfield.
Brian Cole in on the play as well. Sean White from 47. And he's got enough on it. Knocks it through just inside that left upright. BC has a long way to go. Trailing by a bunch.
Oh, John Woo.
Highlight of the night. Winnipeg on their last 5 drives, 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals, scored on all 5 of them. There's a look at the fancy footwork of Brady Oliveira. Quick completion to Dembski, and he's wrapped up immediately by Lacombo.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch the Bombers game plan here. Feeling pretty comfortable with this lead as this 3rd quarter winds down. But
stay healthy, right? Stay healthy.
Well, I think that's got to be something of a consideration. And you know, we know in the Canadian Football League, as a head coach, you're never in a hurry to get your starting quarterback out of the game. That, as the saying goes, no lead is safe, but something you'll probably be aware of in the 4th.
Polaris one more time down the field looking for Dembski. That is incomplete. Much different Winnipeg team than the one that we saw in week 3 from a personnel perspective. Jeffcoat did not play in that game. They just got Wilson and Rose back. Obviously Kenny Lawler was not eligible.
Yeah, some significant additions.
Some big pieces
over the course of the last month or so for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Yeah, you often think about getting players back down the stretch, guys that have been hurt during the year, but they had some key parts missing to start the year, and they're getting those guys back going into the middle 3rd.
Williams tracks us down just inside the 20. Flag. As Williams is taken down at the 20. Special teams solid tonight for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as well.
Illegal block, BC, number 21. Half the distance to the goal, First down.
I think we can say this guy's made a few calls in his time.
So the legendary Ken Lazaruk, longtime CFL official, on field, now off field, working his last game for the Canadian Football League tonight after 46-year career.
46 years, 10 Grey Cups, and tonight's the last one. So congratulations on a heck of a run, Ken.
Yeah, true gentleman. One of the real good guys in the Canadian football world.
Davis gets it to Mizell, but really nowhere to go.
Yeah, Davis in dangerous territory with the Lions again, backed up deep in their own territory. You see Dane Evans on the left in his street clothes. Vernon Adams forced into uniform, but we do not expect to see him take any snaps here tonight. The Lions were anticipating that Adams would return to the starting lineup next week against Calgary.
Davis down the field looking for Hatcher, and that falls in no man's land at midfield.
Brandon Alexander providing the coverage there, not letting Hatcher fight back to the ball, and of course Willie Jefferson making life difficult for Don Davis.
What Jefferson is doing this season is rather ridiculous, to be honest with you. At this stage of his career, to be putting up the numbers and having the impact, not just numbers, but legitimate impact out there on the field is quite something to see. Here's McCray. Nowhere to go on a short return right up the middle, but excellent field position for Winnipeg on a night where everything has fallen their way.
We almost had it, man.
Three multi-sacks games this season. Came into this game with 8 sacks, 7 knockdowns, a couple of forced fumbles as well at the age of 32.
And there you see Jefferson's numbers over the last few years.
And those were good seasons. And he's already surpassed that total. Almost picked one off earlier tonight. Here's McCray. Look at that burst. Craig McCray down to about the 35, right up the middle for a first down with 20 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Yeah, the Bombers have that great ability to attack on the ground in a lot of different ways. McCray directly behind the quarterback. Oliveira in motion as the kick out block. McCray coming right up the middle on this one. Straight downhill.
After 11 yards for McCray, 1st and 10 on the 35, and flags here.
Procedure, Winnipeg, number 67. It's 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's the center, Kolkowski. Well, both of these teams have managed to keep their offensive lines intact for the season so far, keeping everybody healthy, and that'll go a long way for you.
Yeah, big part of both of these teams being successful. You know, continuity, such an important concept in terms of being successful in this league.
93 yards rushing, almost intercepted, and it is hauled in. And that is Marcus Moore, who makes the play, his first CFL interception. And it's the final play of the 3rd quarter. They've got a long way to go, but a bright spot for the BC Lions as Moore gets into the lineup. The hands of the big man. Well done. Congratulations, sir. 7-8. Bombers leading this one, and look, 362 passing yards, almost 100 yards on the ground. This is BC defense that usually doesn't even give up anywhere close to 300 yards in a game.
Yeah, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have, whether they intended to or not, delivered a message loud and clear in terms of this one for anybody who was ready to sort of remove them from the list of the CFL's elite teams or Grey Cup contenders, or however you want to phrase it. The bottom line is that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are still the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
I'm already excited for October 6th, the rubber match.
Yes.
When they meet again, I think that'll be an excellent football game. Hopefully both sides are as healthy as they can possibly be. We'll go at it again for the season series. Barnes, the greatest comeback we've ever seen. Here's Davis. He's going to pitch it out to Mizell. Good job stretching this one out by Mizell. Almost has enough for a first down. Really close.
Big Hill continues his side-to-side ways from the middle of this Winnipeg Blue Bomber defense and middle of your screen. He just continues to climb the all-time tackle list.
Fourth tackle of the game for Big Hill. He's involved here again on short yardage. That will be a first down for the BC Lions. They're yet to find the end zone tonight.
I really believe that the signing of Adam Big Hill when he returned to the Canadian Football League as a free agent, had previously been with BC this time up here, but yeah, I think that was the real beginning.
Is that where it started?
Yeah. Turning this team into a champion.
Mizell wrapped up after a short gain on first down. Then the pieces just fall into place after that, right? You get a guy like Big Hill in the middle of the defense, and more importantly, probably in the middle of that locker room.
Yeah.
Things start to come together.
Yeah, exactly. Great leader, a great mentor, role model for younger players. Guy cut somewhat in the mold of his head coach. Now you look at back-to-back off seasons. You add Big Hill one year in free agency, you add Willie Jefferson the next. That's two pretty good off-season wins right there.
Even the players were waiting for that one to be blown down.
Timeout, BC.
And BC sneaks in a timeout before any flags could fly. Interesting to see BC take this loss. Short rest, go to 6-2. Losing this game isn't the end of the world. They were an underdog coming in. But does the way they lose it impact anything, do you think, when it comes to the discussion?
Well, the one thing that I think has an impact in terms of the way they've lost is you look at this in the Toronto game.
Yeah.
And both games they got down and never really got back into the games.
Davis completion to Hatcher, plunging ahead, first down for the visitors.
So they've certainly shown an ability to rebound game to game, but I think in terms of really battling back from that adversity within a game, I think that's a theme to keep an eye on. Hatcher lined up on the outside here, far left of your screen. The defender sitting off. See if they just sit that one down in the sticks.
10 targets for Hatcher. His 4 catches tonight. Davis, pressure coming, gets it away quickly. Called in by Rhymes. And he lunges ahead, awfully close to another first down. When healthy, we said coming into the game tonight, probably the 1-2 receiving cores in the league, and the big boys from Winnipeg stepped up tonight, but BC certainly has that explosiveness somewhere in there too.
Well, they do, but you look at the difference, as you said tonight. The Winnipeg guys have made some big catches. For BC, there have been some near misses on big plays.
One downfield to Lucky Whitehead. Another one intercepted, looking for Hollins. Mizell, nice move to get around Big Hill. Don't see that very often, and he takes it down inside the 20.
Yeah, I think a lot of the messaging for Rick Campbell and the Lions at this point will be about how they finish this football game. Regardless of scores, you got to battle, you got to keep competing. You can point to a couple of games this year with some rather marvelous comebacks.
Flags here. BC.
Procedure, BC, number 54. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
It's Andrew Pearson. BC coming into this game, 6 different wide receivers with 200-plus yards in the air. Hatcher missed some time. Rhymes missed some time. So guys like Hollins and McKinnon have had an opportunity. Even Whitehead's missed some time. So everybody's had an opportunity to play consistently so far this year. All of them have contributed one way or the other. How about that guy, Katoy? He's got 22 of 23 balls thrown his direction this year. Hasn't been targeted so far here tonight. Davis outside the Hatcher. Can't hang on as Adam Bighill draped all over his back.
Well, Bighill just appears everywhere, and I've said it about him so many times. A guy who can impact a game so many ways defensively, whether it's on the blitz, whether it's in coverage, whether it's stopping the run. And you take 2 very versatile defenders, guys who impact the game in so many ways, like he and Willie Jefferson. That's a hell of a tough defense to play against.
3rd and 11. Lions offense will stay out there. Why not? Davis hit as he throws, and they'll say it's incomplete as Bighill picks it up. Winnipeg all night, all over the Lions. Going to work. Submit an invoice for that, eh?
Well, double duty. I mean, offensive tackle by day, videographer by night. He's got the strut going. He's got the physical play going. Jamarcus Hardrick, all fired up tonight.
That strut sums up the night for the offensive line for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers rather nicely.
I am going to propose that one game we just have a dedicated Jamarcus Hardrick camp.
Really, for all the struts.
He's pretty entertaining.
Tarps are off. I don't even know whether
Better or worse.
Why do they wear jerseys to the game? It doesn't make any sense. Most of the time they're coming off. Hand off to McCray. Contained that time. McCray's one of those guys, I think, as an offensive corner, you just try to, you want to mix him in more, right? Because so many other weapons, but you still like to give this guy touches because he's always capable of doing something special.
Yeah, Zach Collaros has talked about having those moments to himself where he's thinking, what other ways can I get the ball to Greg McCray? And just, as he said, wanting to draw up plays to put the ball in his hands.
We'll get it into the hands of Brady Oliveira here, and Oliveira fumbles the ball, picked up, and Lacombo is going to take it all the way back for a touchdown. BC finally finds the end zone, and it comes on a Brady Oliveira fumble.
Well, long road back, but these are the kind of plays you need to try and fight your way back into this game. Oliveira just fighting for extra yards, but got a little bit of trouble. Yeah, I mean, you go airborne. Sometimes it can be tough to hold on to that ball. Coming off a contact, and Bo Lacombo right there to scoop it up and take it to the house.
So they will attempt to pick up a couple more here and make it a 21-point game. Davis, corner, Ryan tried to one-handed. That would have been spectacular, but he couldn't haul it in. Something to cheer for BC Lions fans as Oliveira has one slip away. Lacombo scoops it up and takes it home. Way. leading 37-14. Sean White, low kick, sitting there, picked up by Winnipeg, and brought back down inside the 30. Connor Burtonshaw was there, made no mistake.
Yeah, Burtonshaw, one of the many strong special teamers on this Winnipeg roster. Former Queens Gale. Nice job jumping in front of that one. Get himself on the stats sheet. One day tell his kids about how he returned the ball all the way to the other team's 27-yard line.
Where'd you get it at, Dad? At the 5, don't ask. Colares remains in this football game, hands it off. Brady Oliveira, a huge hole. Oliveira down to the 5. Why not? Brady Oliveira with redemption after a fumble on the last possession.
Man, what fumble. What fumble.
Second rushing touchdown of the game for Oliveira.
And that's the kind of response you want on an individual level and on a team level. This time it's Oliveira in the backfield, McCray in motion, a little misdirection. And once again, he is in untouched.
27 yards for the second strike of the night for number 20. And that is off the upright, off the foot of Castillo. But Brady Oliveira would not be stopped, and really it was never even close. Got this ball, and it's a nice weekend of football right there.
It sure is.
Winnipeg setting the tone early in week 9. Williams on the return. Look at Williams go. How about this? All the way up to midfield, down to the 40, and eventually pushed out of bounds. Terry Williams with one of his best efforts of the season.
Well, we talk all the time about all 3 phases of football. And the need sometimes when the offense is struggling a little bit, you can get a boost from the defense, you can get a boost from special teams. And defense already on the board with 1 touchdown, special teams providing a short field here for Dom Davis in the O.
Drive will start on the Winnipeg 34. Bombers bringing everybody. They'll get it out into the flat to Hollins. Boy, if he could have made Holm miss, he might have had something cooking, but Evan Holm with a nice tackle.
Yeah, that is a good job in space by Holm. He's kind of the one guy out there after Holmes makes a couple miss with a nice move. Jab the outside, inside, outside. Turns it up. Holm gets just enough to bring him down.
Taking off, wanting to run with it, stays on his feet, gets it down to the 20 for a first down as the crowd at IG feel relentless here tonight.
A nice escape here for Dom Davis with the walls closing in. Effort to turn that into a positive play.
Mizell is running back in behind him, 44 yards on 9 carries. The move Rhymes over to the quarterback's right. Hand it off to Mizell. And he's wrapped up and taken down by Wilson. And that first game back from the Achilles that kept him out for over a year.
Yeah, great comeback story for Kyrie Wilson. Took some time to talk to us this week a little bit about his rehab, the journey back. Talked about how inclusive the rest of the team was in terms of just keeping him involved in things.
Davis incomplete, and the area was McInnes. Never had a crack at it.
Well, with nothing to lose, the Lions playing 3-down football here.
4 more yards to keep this drive alive for BC. Dane Evans taken out of the game after a heavy hit from Big Hill. Vernon Adams should be ready to go against Calgary next week. Davis pressured. Jefferson hits him up for grabs. And is that intercepted? No. Incomplete. Good crack at it there for Anthony Bennett. Couldn't haul it in, but Willie Jefferson, a major problem that time for the BC offensive line.
Yeah, Dom Davis was just trying to buy time. Willie Jefferson. Continues to be a concern.
Drew Brown into the game at quarterback. Saw his other action this year against BC as well on the other end of a game like this. So Brown gets an opportunity. Completed 4 passes in that last game against BC. A couple of touchdowns on the year.
Yeah. Always good to get your backups a little action when you can.
Nice night for Collaros, 19 of 27, 369 yards, which matches his season high. 4th 300-yard game of the year for Zach. 3 touchdowns. And that one weird interception. Pretty nice night. Now Brown gets some action. Ooh, gets that away as he's hit down the field, and that is caught at the 50 by Kenny Lawler. What a night for Lawler. Finally, Sales hauls him down. Flag on the play. Probably for a horse collar. But Kenny Lawler pulls him in on 200.
Getting a little bit of a feeling of deja vu.
Horse collar tackle, BC, number 14. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
You see the tail end right hand of Sales up in that horse collar area. We're going to add another 50 into this one.
.200 on the nose for Kenny Lawler. And in case you were wondering if they needed another weapon in the Winnipeg offense, wow. They've got him. And he looks good. Brown from inside the 15. Brown towards the end zone. Touchdown. Ducks it in there for Schoen. The Bombers pile it on.
So Schoen, the inside receiver on this one's just going to get across the goal line and work underneath. Now here they are in a game where they're already up like 30 points. And there's Dalton Schoen going into the teeth of the defense, knowing he's going to take a lick. Go make a catch for his quarterback.
Schoen well over 100 yards as well. Couple of TDs. Castillo knocks it through. The Bombers have hung a 50 burger on the Lions.
a statement game.
No,
No.
not at all.
No revenge whatsoever.
Something to think about for the Lions, that's for sure. This is one of those games where it's something to think about for the rest of the league. Well, you see Winnipeg back dominating like this.
Yeah, I mean, we're needless to say at this point with the score 50-14, reports of the demise of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were greatly exaggerated.
Lawler at 200, his career high. 205 receiving yards. Also against the BC Lions. Williams just inside the 15. Can he duplicate his last effort? Takes it out to about the 40, and another crack at it for BC's offense and Dom Davis. Well, the good news for BC is they're going to get their starting quarterback here back in the lineup against the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, Vernon Adams, who certainly started this 2023 season on a bit of a heater.
Davis, just over 3 minutes to play here. 4-man pressure. Gets it away. First catch of the game for Cotoy. And it's just shy of a first down pickup for 86 in gray. Thursday night football celebration for the Bombers in Winnipeg. Still blows my mind. Super convenient.
You had a go-to dish at 7-Eleven.
Pizza sub.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go try it. You'll love it.
I'm just going to take your word for it.
Trying to push it ahead here. Looks like they got it. So this one, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but this one looks to be in the books here at 50-14, which sets up Friday night football. And I'll be whipping over to Calgary for that game tomorrow. Interested to see the Argos. Being in the West, I don't get to see the Argos in person that often, but they look like they've got a little bit of a juggernaut there so far this year, and a big test for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that may be just the thing the Calgary Stampeders need as they try to get themselves back to their usual winning ways, experiencing different level of adversity in Calgary these days.
Davis not going to get away. Took a couple of Bombers to eventually wrap him up. Jake Thomas started it. Jeff Coate finished it. And then you're out east on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Jake Thomas, the longest serving Winnipeg Blue Bomber, New Brunswick native, product of Acadia University.
Long time Bomber. The first time that BC has allowed 50 points in a game since August 15th, 2015, and that was against Hamilton.
Procedure, BC, number 59. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
The last time that they allowed the 50, I mentioned it was against Hamilton, and that guy was the quarterback, and he was on his way to an excellent season before being injured. So no stranger to hanging 50 on the line.
Yeah.
Mizell just shy of the 50. So BC has allowed 95 points in games against the Argos and the Bombers, and 49 points in all of their other games combined.
And honestly, for as good as the BC Lions have been this year, you know, the argument would be that the road to the Grey Cup kind of goes through Winnipeg and Toronto.
Yep.
So true. They got to find some answers.
Now, they had a nice win here against Winnipeg, but their 2 losses were big ones against the other 2 teams many people view as the best in the Canadian Football League. Something to keep in mind moving forward. Zach Collaros and the Bombers would be happy with this one. Up next for them, off to Edmonton a week from tonight as the Elks look to end the streak. And not easy with the Bombers rolling in after putting up 50 against the best defense in the league.
We don't talk about the streak, Dustin.
We don't have that board we can throw up like we usually do.
We don't talk about the streak.
Okay. Drew Brown, who came into this game, he's 2 for 2 for 78 yards and a touchdown. So he's been all right. Now they'll hand it off. And that's Johnny Augustine into the game, his first touch of the evening with just over 90 seconds remaining. I want these 2 teams to play a close game. You know, BC with the blowout in the first one, and Winnipeg even cranking it up a notch here tonight. That means October 6th comes down to a field goal, right? A little overtime.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm looking forward to that one way or another.
Radio Oliveira, 9 carries tonight, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pretty efficient evening for him. Augustine, second down, nowhere to go. Now, the last time when BC gave up all those points to the Argos, didn't get a lot of help from their offense there. Interception after interception after interception. Tonight, this was an offense that drove on them over and over and over again. This is a little bit of a different loss than that one to Toronto.
Yeah, and I mean, right from the get-go, big plays right out of the gate for the BC Lions. When you look back at the previous meeting between these 2 teams, all of the talk was about the big plays that BC was making defensively, particularly at the line of scrimmage.
7 sacks in that first meeting of the year. 0 sacks allowed tonight. Williams, good job staying on his feet. Look at Williams, spun around, still going, eventually tracked down from behind. And he just had the kicker left to beat.
Well, I don't know if he's the only bright spot for BC tonight, but certainly the brightest, Terry Williams, and those return units having a pretty good evening.
It's Kyrie Wilson who ended up tracking him down. As the BC Lions will say that's enough tonight. 50-14, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and this was not a game where the Bombers felt their way into it. Dwayne, this is a game where they came out and delivered a couple of punches right to the face.
Haymakers out of the gate.
Second of 3 between these 2 clubs. As we mentioned, the season series should have a lot on the line, and we'll have to wait until October 6th for that one in Vancouver. Vernon Adams waits for an opportunity to get the ball back next week against Calgary, but Winnipeg comes out victorious today in impressive fashion. 50-14 your final. Dwayne, it wasn't a statement game, but they made a statement.
Well said. Impressive performance from start to finish for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Again, particularly an offensive line that was much questioned.